So here we can go with the types of bricks here. You can see here 5 types of bricks I have mentioned. So now we can see the first one, that is the sun-dried bricks. As it says here, we are not sending that mold bricks into a furnace or into a chimney unit where it is getting burnt. The clay should be burnt to achieve its strength. That is the fundamental. Now this one, in the sun-dried one, after forming the mold, after that it is just left outside in the sun to get dried. So as it dries, it develops a strength, it becomes a strong, right? So that one, how much it can be there? It cannot be more strong. It cannot be more strong. So it is not burned in the kilns. So the strength is somewhat limited, lower strength, but still it is being the one of the ancient old methods. You can still find in, if you are having houses say at least 100 years or 60-70 years old houses, there you can see majority of the walls would have been at least a thickness or a width of say 1.5 feet, 2 feet, 2.5 feet. You can still find so much large sized walls. Those you can see in the rural areas that usually has the brick that is not of so much good shape or so much good size, and it is little lesser in strength, that is your low strength brickworks. Okay, it is not used for multiple story buildings, and it is used for only a single story building, and also the size of the wall or the structural element built with the sun-dried bricks will be little limited. And second one is the burnt clay bricks. This is the brick definition comes to this burnt clay bricks, and we have 4 classes in it: first, second, third and fourth. The first one is the likely preferable brick that is being used, and you can see that when I say first class, what is there? It is a standard uniform with sharp edges. And second one is the second class, that is slightly having some not cracks, definitely it is that the sharp edges might not be there, and the strength will be slightly lesser when compared to the first class brick. And third class brick, it is also similar to like a sun-dried, where the burning is not proper, or sometimes say the mold is not perfect, or might be in the composition there is slightly the composition is not meeting up to the standards, and so it becomes little poorer in quality. And fourth, we can say it as overburned. Even an item that requires burning, if it is overburned, it becomes little over hard, it is not useful, it becomes more or less becomes like a brittle one. And the aggregates or the composition of soil is not going to make that brick like a homogeneous unit, then also it comes under the category fourth class. So as we can say, the strength will be different for each class, slightly it will be actually decreasing, and the shape won't be maintained in the proper manner, and it will be having minor cracks, and also the water absorption will be more as the class goes down. Okay, in a class 1 brick, the water absorption will be less, and it will be strong, it will be having a standard shape, and it will be uniform with all the necessary requisites. Then you can see the different types of bricks in this photograph also from Google. It is, you can see the burnt clay, sun-dried bricks, how it looks, concrete bricks, how it looks, engineered bricks, how it looks, sand lime when it is used, how it looks, right? Then third one, we have the major one is the fly ash bricks. Fly ash brick is the the ash from the thermal plants that is not wasted nowadays. Good quality ash, say class C and class F, we have 2 classes. In that class C usually goes for the as a supplementary cementitious material, as a partial replacement in the cement itself, cement manufacturing itself. So in the cement bags we had a little fly ash in that, and we call it as fly ash cement itself. Sometimes in the ordinary cement also we mix fly ash, sometimes we mix fly ash and say it as Portland Passalonic cement. Passalona, we call this fly ash also as a Passalona material. Passalona means something that can give strength in the later period because of the action with the water, and it is also adhesive, or it is also binding, it has that binding tendency. That materials we call as pozzolas. So fly ash is a good pozzola. Along with that we add lime, gypsum and sand. Sand is there as usual as mud itself. In mud also we have majority content as silicates, that is sand actually, and then we have the gypsum and lime. Those both are also having the binding quality together, and this fly ash can give the extended there is a term called as CSH gel that happens due to hydration. So that will be formed and densified, and we can see that it can form into a fly ash brick. So this is having smooth finish, superior strength, and uniform size, everything. But however, this is too much smooth that sometimes the plaster is difficult to be applied to it, and majority of the cases we can build using this, and usually it is little costly. Then but the one more environmental friendly behavior is that the fly ash, that is industrial waste that is to be disposed, instead of that it can be used and manufactured into a fly ash brick. Then we have the concrete bricks. So when we say concrete bricks, what is a concrete? Concrete is a material that has been manufactured with the help of cement, your fine aggregate and coarse aggregate. When I say cement, that will be going to be acting like a binder material, and then we have the fine aggregate, which we can say it as sand, sand and other ingredients that is having very minor grain size. Then we have the coarse aggregate, we can say it as the size of that aggregate, size of that stones might be little bigger one. So the stones are crushed and formed into these aggregates, and those when added with water, cement and water, as we know, it can react together and form it into a paste, and further it can be hardened into a strong item. So cement, water, fine aggregate and coarse aggregate together will form the concrete, and that concrete initially, when before setting, it will be having that liquidity nature that we can pour in the mold and form your concrete bricks. You might have seen what is a concrete, if I'm not wrong. So these concrete blocks, how we require, we can prepare that concrete. We can prepare a concrete of lesser strength, we can prepare a concrete of higher strength. So based on our need, how the concrete can how much strong the concrete we require, accordingly we can prepare the concrete bricks and concrete blocks that can be readily be used as a block for construction. And then we have the sand lime bricks. Here also it is similar to the natural brick only, but except here the color will be little different because of the addition of lime, and it is also based on how we require it, we can make it. It is similar to the burnt clay bricks. So usually when the color is good, we can use it for aesthetic purposes or something like that. So here when we see the different types of bricks here, you can imagine the burnt clay bricks, and you can be coming across various bricks even when you're seeing any construction site, or when you see again when you're itself building the house or something like that. Then you can see the burnt clay bricks. Then these are the sun dried bricks. You can see the concrete bricks, these engineered bricks. This what happens, this has this perforation, where you can pour the concrete, or sometimes it is filled with a foam that protects or that acts as an insulation. So a medium is provided within this uh, pores, and it can act as a insulation. And you can see the sand lime bricks little different in color. The fly ash bricks, you would have noticed these bricks, majority of the cases it is used to build the external walls or external compound walls or something like that, because it is durable, it can last for so many days. And next one is the refractory brick. Refractory brick is a good quality brick. The term refractory indicates that it can sustain higher temperature, higher degree of to a greater extent, it can withstand the temperature without deformation or crushing or damage. So that is the refractory brick. Then the commonest bricks that you can see normally, and commercial brick of size, you can say 23 centimeters cross 11.5 centimeters cross 7.5 centimeters. Sometimes in mm it is 230 mm cross 115 mm cross 75 mm. So it will be little, the tolerance will be there. Some, if you measure, it cannot be 23, it sometimes be 22, or it is not 11.5, it will be like 10, 10.5, or not 7.5 up to 7, 6.5. So that and all happens when the brick manufacturing is happening. Still the commonest brick is this one. So a 9-inch cross, 4.5-inch cross 3-inch brick, and this is the clay bricks. Initially the original clay bricks, normally first class bricks were prepared like this. This is having a size of 19 cross 9 cross 9, which we say it as 190 mm cross 90 mm cross 90 mm. That is the standard first class brick as per theory. So these are those bricks. And perforated bricks, we can see that it allows the air to be entrained through that ports and it can come inside, usually used for aesthetics also, sometimes in the buildings also, in such a way that it provides the insulation. So the plastering is done, the air between that zone, in between zone, can act as a medium that will maintain the temperature, temperature from the external and the internal. It can act as one medium to control or regulate that temperature. This one is that protherm bricks, we call it as hollow clay bricks. Commercially, normally it is called as the protherm bricks. You can find it, it is little costlier brick. This also acts as an insulated brick and it can prevent the heating and cooling. It can have that one balance. Then we have the solid bricks, lightweight bricks, acid resistance bricks, and this bullnose bricks are something used for a garnishing for a corner or something where you require that one pleasing appearance. So here we can show see about the qualities and uses of the bricks. So how the quality should be there. The most important quality when you procure any brick or something, when you're using it for your own house, then the first clear thing you can check with a brick whether it is a good one or a not a very good standard. You can just slap two bricks together, you can clearly hear a metallic ring noise. So that indicates it is a very good brick. We call it as the soundness test. So when you can say whether it is burnt or not, how you use your nail to scratch or use a small any tool, a nail, steel a nail, or small wooden piece or sharp one, a sharp tool, and if you can scratch it, you can find it from the scratch whether it is hard or not. Usually with human nails, if you scratch, it is not going to scratch usually. Then the texture, you can find it from the appearance, how it is. And when you break a stone, break a brick, then you can also find the texture, whether it is having uniform mud or whether it is having lumps of clay here and there not mixed properly, or whether you are having small pebbles present inside that mud. Possibilities are there, and how the texture is looking. And the color and tone, it defines when the color is proper and the shape is proper, usually the standard is usually good. Then we have the one more test, that is the water absorption. That is it should be less than 20%. When you keep away, say, a brick inside a water, immerse a brick in the water, so it should not absorb so much water. What happens when the plastering is happening, or when you are building the bricks, then when you are using the mortar, if the water absorption is more, that will absorb more water during the construction itself, and even after that, whenever it is exposed to water, it will absorb more water. That is actually having lesser strength and not good for construction. So here, when we immerse that brick in water for say 24 hours, it should not exceed 20% of its weight. So the normal commercial brick, around say 3.5 to 4 kg, when it is being immersed in water, so the 4 kg of brick should not go beyond 4.8 kg. So if it goes beyond 4.8 kg, then it is not a very good brick. That is what it says. Then the crushing strength is there. So the crushing strength is what we actually define in civil engineering terms. So a very good brick will have greater crushing strength. You can find it here. So we generally say class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. Class A, B, C, D will come with this compressive strength itself. When the strength is very poor, then usually it is not being used as a load resisting structure, not used as a load resisting block. It cannot resist much of a compressive load. So we limit that. So if it is having a 10 Newton per mm square compressive strength, then we can tell that brick is very good and it can be used as a load resisting structural element. In building a load resisting structural element which can carry the load. And efflorescence is something we can see as white patches when it is dried. This is because of the additional components, say alkalis present in it, and the chemicals present in the mud that will make those patches, the carbonates and the alkalis present in the mud.